in charge always know what's going to hit. They don't. Some of the most played songs in rock history were never supposed to exist as hits. They were filler, afterthoughts, songs dumped on the back of a record, because something else needed company. And then the people decided. Not the labels, not the managers, the people.
The end is right. I hope you have the time.
These are 12 of those songs, and the stories behind them are wilder than anything the labels planned. Number 12, Them, Gloria, 1964.
What's coming around here?
A teenager wrote this in Germany in the summer of 1963, while performing in seedy clubs for beer money between sets. Van Morrison was 18 years old. He scribbled the chords and the riff in a back room. When he brought it back to Belfast and started performing it live, he would stretch it to 15, sometimes 20 minutes, improvising the lyrics every single night. By the time Them recorded it for Decca Records in 1964, the label didn't even consider it worth releasing as a single. They put it on the B-side of Baby Please Don't Go. The producer thought the band was too inexperienced. He brought in outside session musicians to back them up. To this day, there is still debate about whether a young Jimmy Page played rhythm guitar on that session. The A-side reached number 10 in the UK, but the B-side became something else entirely. When the record hit America in 1965, radio flipped it over. Gloria became the hit. The Shadows of Night covered it in 1966 and reached number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Patti Smith rewrote it for her debut album Horses in 1975. Her version is now ranked among the greatest songs of all time. The Doors played it live. Grateful Dead played it. Thousands of garage bands learned rock and roll through those three chords. A song written as an ad-libbed jam in a German club is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's list of 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. The label didn't believe in it. Every rock band that ever played a garage did. Number 11, The Rolling Stones. You Can't Always Get What You Want, 1969. This song was rejected twice before the world ever heard it. Mick Jagger first wrote it on acoustic guitar during the Beggars Banquet sessions in 1968. They tried to record it. It didn't make the cut. When they came back to it for Let It Bleed, the groove was so unusual that Charlie Watts, the band's own drummer, could not figure out the beat. Producer Jimmy Miller, the same man who played the cowbell on Honky Tonk Women, stepped in behind the kit himself. When he offered to show Watts how the drum part worked, Watts looked at him and said, "Why don't you play it then?" and walked out of the studio. Miller played the drums. Al Cooper played organ and French horn. The London Bach Choir was brought in, because no gospel choir was available. Then the label buried the whole thing on the B-side of Honky Tonk Women, released July 3, 1969, the same day Brian Jones died. The B-side didn't chart at all in 1969. But when London Records resurfaced the single in 1973, it finally hit the charts. Rolling Stone ranked it the 100th greatest song of all time. Donald Trump used it at presidential rallies in 2016. The Rolling Stones told him to stop. He kept playing it anyway. A song Charlie Watts couldn't play, that the label threw on a B-side, became one of the defining anthems of the entire 20th century.
If you just learned something you never knew before, there is a whole lot more where that came from. Hit subscribe to The Rock Lens. Every single week, we go deeper into the real stories, secrets, and hidden history behind the music. you have loved your whole life. The button is right there. One click. We will see you in the next one.
Number 10. Queen, We Will Rock You, 1977.
Make a big noise played in the street, gonna be a big man someday.
In England and Europe, it was the B-side. We Are the Champions was the A-side. We Will Rock You was on the back. Brian May wrote it after a concert at Bingley Hall in Stafford, where an audience of thousands started singing You'll Never Walk Alone back at the band. May went home that night with one mission: write something the audience could take ownership of. Something with no traditional instruments, just stomping, clapping, and the collective power of everyone in the room. Radio executives asked, are they really going to play a song with no drums? A New York station, New, made their own custom record with both songs on the same side so they could play them back to back without a gap. The single hit number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. We Are the Champions, the actual A-side, went 4 times platinum. We Will Rock You, the B-side, went 9 times platinum. The B-side outsold the A-side by more than double. No drums, no bass, no melody until 30 seconds before the end. And today, it plays in every stadium on Earth before every game, before every championship, before every moment when a crowd needs to feel like something is about to happen. They can't stop it.
Big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place.
Number 9. Rod Stewart, Maggie May, 1971. Rod Stewart was 26 years old and had already made 2 albums that nobody much cared about. He needed one more song to finish his 3rd record. His label asked if he had anything sitting around. He had this, a song about the first woman he ever slept with. At the Beaulieu Jazz Festival in 1961, he was 16. In his memoir, he wrote that he lost his not remotely prized virginity with an older woman who had come on to him strongly in the beer tent. The experience, he said, was over. In a few seconds, he turned it into a song. Oh, Maggie, I couldn't have tried. Neither Stewart nor his label believed in it. It was recorded in 2 takes, 1 session. The drummer arrived to find no cymbals anywhere in the studio. But you turned into a lover. The iconic mandolin riff was played by Ray Jackson of Lindisfarne, who received session musician pay and We Know songwriting credit. He was furious about it for decades. The label put it on the B-side of Reason to Believe. And mother, what a lover, you wore me out. Stewart said years later, at first I didn't think much of Maggie May. I guess that's because the record company didn't believe in the song. I didn't have much confidence then. I figured it was best to listen to the guys who knew better. Anymore. A DJ in Cleveland flipped the record. Maggie May hit number 1 in the United States. Number 1 in the United Kingdom for 5 weeks. Number 1 in Australia, Canada. The album and the single topped the charts simultaneously. I could collect my books and get on back to school. Rolling Stone ranked it the 130th greatest song of all time. In 2017, it was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, all because one DJ in Cleveland turned a record over. That needs a helping hand. Number 8, Kiss, Beth, 1976. The label president actively tried to kill this song. Kiss drummer Peter Criss originally wrote it years before he joined the band. He was in a New York group called Chelsea. Their guitarist's wife, a woman named Becky, kept calling the studio during rehearsals, asking when her husband was coming home. What can I do? Criss and guitarist Stan Penridge wrote a song mocking her. They called it Beck. The lyric was, Beck, I hear you callin', but I can't come home right now. And you're always there alone. Years later, Criss brought the demo to Kiss. He sang it in a limousine for Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, assuming they would hate it.
I'm always somewhere else.
They told him to play it for their producer Bob Ezrin. Ezrin slowed it down, changed the title to Beth, brought in the New York Philharmonic to record the strings.
Lonely, and I hope you feel.
Then Casablanca Records president Neil Bogart found out. His own ex-wife's name was Beth. He believed the lyrics reflected his divorce.
Come on right now.
He ordered the song placed on the B-side of Detroit Rock City, specifically to reduce its chances of getting airplay. Then he left for vacation in Acapulco. While he was gone, radio stations flipped the record.
Yeah, the boys are playing, and we.
A music director in Windsor, Ontario, named Rosalie Trombley, added Beth to heavy rotation after her daughter fell in love with the song. By the time Bogart returned from his trip, Beth was the most requested song on the airwaves.
Just a few more hours.
The label reissued the single with Beth as the A-side. It hit number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100, the highest any Kiss single has ever charted in America. It won the People's Choice Award for Favorite Song in 1977. And the album it came from, Destroyer, became the first Kiss album certified platinum. A song written to mock a woman who called rehearsals too often, became the greatest commercial hit of one of the most iconic bands in rock history. Number 7. Nirvana, About a Girl, 1989/1994. Kurt Cobain spent an entire afternoon listening to Meet the Beatles, on repeat. Then he wrote this song. He wrote it about his girlfriend Tracy Marander, who was paying all of their bills, while he sat at home making music and refusing to find work. She would leave a list of chores for him before she left for her shift. He hated it, so he wrote a pop song instead. The problem was, Bleach, the album it was supposed to go on in 1989, was a grunge record. Raw, heavy, deliberately abrasive, about a girl, stood out like a bright light in a dark room. Cobain was nervous it would alienate their existing fan base. He almost didn't put it on the record. It went on Bleach. Sub Pop pressed it. Nobody outside the Pacific Northwest scene heard it. The song sat in near silence for 4 years. Then in November 1993, Nirvana performed live on MTV Unplugged. Cobain chose About a Girl as the opening song. He played it on an acoustic guitar, and the song sounded like it had been waiting its whole life for that room. 6 months later, Kurt Cobain was gone. The unplugged version was released as a single in October 1994, the first single released after his death. It went to number 1 on the Modern Rock Tracks chart. Tracy Marander, the girl the song was written about, didn't know it was about her. She found out years later by reading a biography. He never told her. Number 6. Pearl Jam, Yellow Ledbetter, 1992. This song was never supposed to exist. It came out of a studio jam during the recording of 10, Pearl Jam's debut album in 1991. Eddie Vedder had no lyrics prepared. He made them up on the spot. Guitarist Mike McCready built a riff so close to Jimi Hendrix's Little Wing that you can feel the influence in every note. They recorded it in 2 takes and left it off the album entirely. McCready said later, "I was kind of bummed at the time. I really wanted it on our first record. Months later, they needed a B-side for the Jeremy single. They used Yellow Ledbetter. No promotion, no push, no strategy." The song slowly built a following among the most devoted Pearl Jam fans, who started holding up handwritten signs at concerts, begging the band to play it. By 1995, radio stations were playing it without being asked. It peaked at number 21 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock chart, without ever being released on a studio album. In 2004, a snippet of Yellow Ledbetter played during the series finale of Friends, when Rachel boards the plane to Paris. It was the first time Pearl Jam had ever licensed a song for television. McCready's guitar solo was later ranked number 95 on Guitar World's list of the 100 greatest guitar solos of all time. Today, it is almost always the last song Pearl Jam plays in concert. House lights on, audience singing every word they never fully understood. A song thrown in the bin as a studio outtake became the one the crowd never wants to end. Number 5. Green Day, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, 1997. Billy Joe Armstrong wrote this song in 1994 during a breakup. His girlfriend was moving to Ecuador. He sat down to write something angry about it. What came out instead was this, a quiet, gentle, acoustic song about letting go, about realizing, too late, what something meant to you. He called it Time of Your Life.
Unpredictable, but in the end it's right.
The label added the parentheses, and the official title became Good Riddance. Armstrong sat on the song for 3 years. Then it appeared on the B-side of the German release of Brain Stew, a German edition, of a single nobody remembers.
Unpredictable, but in the end it's right.
Management eventually convinced the band to put it on Nimrod. It was released as a proper single in October 1997. And then something happened that no marketing campaign could have manufactured. Seinfeld used it for their series finale. ER used it. The Today Show used it. It appeared at school graduations across the entire country. It became the anthem for every ending, every goodbye, every chapter closed for good.
The end is right. I hope you have the time.
A band known for 3-chord punk and raw aggression had their most enduring song built on one acoustic guitar, and a breakup they were furious about.
Time of your life.
The song they hid in a German B-side became the one that plays when life changes.
Hanging on a shelf in good.
Number 4. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Soul to Squeeze, 1991/1993.
Where I bleed.
They recorded it during the sessions for Blood Sugar Sex Magic and then cut it from the album entirely. John Frusciante and the band made the decision together. The album already had 3 slow, emotional songs. Soul to Squeeze would have made 4. They decided that was too many, so they threw it on the B-side of both Give It Away and Under the Bridge, 2 of the biggest singles from the biggest album of their career. And there it sat, hidden on the back of records that were already selling millions of copies. Then in 1993, a low-budget comedy film called Coneheads needed a soundtrack. The movie was based on a Saturday Night Live sketch about aliens with cone-shaped heads. Critics destroyed it. Audiences ignored it. But Warner Brothers had a roster of artists with spare material, and the Chili Peppers handed over Soul to Squeeze. The movie bombed. The song did not. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart, number 22 on the Hot 100, number 7 on the Album Rock Tracks chart. And here is the detail that makes the whole thing stranger. By the time the song was released as a proper single, John Frusciante had already quit the band. He had descended into addiction so severe that by the time the music video was filmed, he was not in it. The most beloved song the Chili Peppers had recorded up to that point was released without the guitarist who wrote it, promoted without the guitarist who played it, and it still went to number 1.
Today love smiled on me.
Frusciante admitted years later on Rick Rubin's podcast, he and Flea had told each other, "No, too much. As it is, we've got 3 songs like this. He said they were insane not to put it on the album. Soul to Squeeze never appeared on any Chili Peppers studio record. For a decade, if you wanted to hear it, you had to buy the Conehead soundtrack or find the B-side of a single no one was turning over. Their #1 hit lived on the soundtrack of a movie nobody watched. Number 3, Led Zeppelin, Hey Hey What Can I Do, 1970.
The girl I love, she looks so fine.
Led Zeppelin almost never released B-sides. They considered themselves an album band. Singles were for pop groups. B-sides were filler for bands that ran out of real ideas.
I need to tell her she's the only one I'm...
But in 1970, they needed something to back the Immigrant Song single. They recorded Hey Hey What Can I Do quickly, a country-influenced acoustic folk track, completely unlike anything else in their catalog. It never appeared on any Led Zeppelin studio album. For years, the only way to hear it was to own the original UK single, or find it on one of the rarest compilations. It became one of the most sought-after tracks in the band's entire history. Fans obsessed over it precisely, mugging, because it was hidden, because you had to find it. Find it. When Atlantic Records included it on their 1990 box set, a new generation heard it for the first time. Today, it is a staple of classic rock radio, a track that outlived hundreds of songs that were released with full promotional campaigns, real budgets, and genuine industry support. Led Zeppelin tossed it on the back of a record like they didn't care. The fans cared. They always did. Number 2, the Surfaris, Wipeout, 1963. They needed a B-side. The Surfaris had Surfer Joe ready to release as a single, and they just needed something, anything, to put on the back. 4 band members sat in a room and wrote Wipeout in minutes. A simple I4V blues chord progression, the kind of thing you could teach someone in an afternoon. One of the band members' fathers grabbed a studio microphone, cracked a wooden board in half over a trash can, and laughed, maniacally, into it. That laugh is the intro. They recorded the whole song in one take, as a throwaway, as pure filler. Radio flipped the record. Wipeout hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1963. It returned to the top 5 in 1966. It has since appeared in more films, TV shows, and commercials than almost any other instrumental in rock history. The band made it in minutes to fill empty space and accidentally wrote one of the most recognizable songs in surf rock history. The laugh alone is more famous than most entire discographies. Number 1, the Doobie Brothers, Blackwater, 1974. The record company heard it and said no. Blackwater was acoustic. It had bluegrass influences. It had a rambling, southern feel that didn't fit the template for rock radio. The label buried it on the B-side of Another Park, Another Sunday. Radio DJs started playing the backside. Listeners began calling stations, requesting the song the label had thrown away. Blackwater climbed, and climbed. And in early 1975, it hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was the Doobie Brothers' first, and only, number 1 single. The label had written it off. Radio brought it back. The people wouldn't let it go. And that is the story of the B-side. Over and over again, across 60 years of rock history, the people who are supposed to know what hits don't always know what hits. And the song that gets thrown away is sometimes the one nobody can stop singing. Yeah,